What is going on, everybody? It is Jamie Shaw here on the Absolute Basketball Experience. Very excited to deep dive here with Sean Durugordon here. Over quarantine, he's been a huge riser going from mid-major prospect, picking up 15-plus offers in that time frame to becoming a bona fide high-major guy. You know, he's narrowed his list to 8. We go through all 8 schools. We go through what he's looking for. We go through his rise, his game, what his goals are this coming season, all that type of stuff for y'all to see. We also ask that if you enjoy this content, if this is your first time here and you enjoy this content, you want to continue to hear more about players, about coaches, you want to see mixtapes and you want to see film breakdowns and all that type of stuff, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. That we would greatly appreciate your subscription. And go ahead, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and smash the bell notification as well. And if you enjoyed it, feel free to share it across your timeline, your content as well. That would be awesome. But without further ado, here is Sean Durugordon on the Absolute Basketball Experience with Jamie Shaw. Thank you guys very much. What is going on, everybody? Jamie Shaw here, Absolute Basketball Experience. Very excited today to have Sean Durugordon here on the show with us, 2021 prospect. Sean, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Good, man, good. So you're originally from Queens, Kenny Anderson, Kenny Smith, Rayford Alston, Lamar Odom, all that type of stuff. How important is basketball where you're from?
Basketball, really, kind of the main thing in New York. They're really known, for producing a lot of talented players. It's pretty much, as it's known as the Mecca. So, there's a lot of good basketball players that come out of here. It's a really hard place to play at too. But basketball in New York is definitely a big deal for sure.
Are there any players, any local legends that you kind of grew up idolizing or watching?
You mean like in the New York area?
Yeah.
I kind of looked up to Lance Stevenson, on Abraham Lincoln. I'm really familiar with that school, so that's definitely one person that I definitely liked growing up.
I got you. So you transferred, you went to Canterbury School, where Donovan Mitchell also started out at. How did you, over those last couple of years, how did you develop your game there, and what did you grow into playing there?
So I actually played there just for this past year.
Okay.
But definitely, I felt like I improved a lot in this past year there. Definitely I feel like I got stronger, quicker. I feel like I became, more athletic. So definitely, this past year, I definitely seen the biggest jump in my game, became more confident shooting the ball, handling the ball. So for sure, this year definitely, was a big positive for me.
And then coming into quarantine, obviously last year at the Canterbury, you averaged 22 and 11 and stuff. Coming into quarantine, kind of what all were you working on your game, and how did you develop throughout that time?
Quarantine's been tough because, in the beginning, parks and gyms was closed. So, I was, blessed enough to have a court in my backyard. So, I was out there pretty much, every day, a lot, just getting up a lot of shots, working on my handle, just running around the neighborhood, doing a lot of push-ups and stuff like that to maintain my strength. So, I made it, work for, those couple of months. But, now gyms are starting to reopen, so it's more easier to, to get in more work.
And then also during that same time, since April 1st, I guess, you've picked up 16 or so offers in that time frame, taking yourself from, a mid-major guy to a bona fide high-major prospect. Take me through kind of the last 4 months with you on the recruiting front.
It's been pretty much a really big blessing for me, to receive, interest from, all these big time schools for sure. But I've just been learning more about each school just every day, just trying to see, what's the best fit for me, on and off the court, seeing which school do I feel like I'll be able to fit into their culture, schools with, people with great character. That really matters a lot to me too. So I've just really been, just taking it all in and just learning a lot about these schools.
And I'm sure it's a very different time. In an optimal world, you'd love to get on campus and talk and interact with the people. But in this time of virtual tours and virtual visits and FaceTimes and stuff, I'm sure it was awesome at first getting all these big time schools, but then I'm sure it got like really time consuming and all that type of stuff as it went on. How have you handled that throughout this process, and what does that look like?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely getting a lot of phone calls and texts, pretty much like every day from a lot of schools. It could become a little overwhelming, but, I'm definitely, grateful for all of it. But, time, like now I, just narrowed my list, to focus on a certain amount of schools because, like you said, it did get, out of hand with all these schools reaching out and stuff like that. So, but it's definitely, just all a blessing though, to have all these schools, that's interested in you and like, your talent. So for sure.
Absolutely. And you, as you mentioned, you just recently narrowed to 8 schools. I'm going to ask you, I guess, name each one. If you would just give a sentence about what drew you to that school, whether it be, whatever it was that drew you to that school. What was it about Auburn that put them on the list?
So yeah, like Auburn, they're a school that I watched, as growing up as a kid. I've always liked Auburn a lot. Their system. I've always liked Coach Pearl and how he runs his team, and I just really felt like that school could be a possible fit for me. Just development from a development standpoint, and I feel like they can get me to my ultimate goal, which is making the NBA. So, and I've been building a good relationship with Coach Bowman there, so I have a lot of trust in him too. So,
How about
sure.
Missouri?
Missouri is like another good school for me. They play in the SEC. I built a relationship with everybody on the staff. Coach Martin, is high on character, which I love about him. Has a lot of integrity. But they've been recruiting me really hard, ever since, reaching out at first. And I also feel like that could be a really good fit for me just because they play like an up and down type of game, which I feel like would really showcase my skill set.
How about Arizona State?
Arizona State, definitely like them a lot too. They play in the Pac-12, a conference, that's, free flowing. Arizona State is known for, their guards, development of their guards. And I feel like, definitely going there could, be a good fit, just taking my game to the next level and, really exposing my game too, especially at that national level. So
What about Seton Hall?
Seton Hall, they're a close school to home, tri-state. I've liked Seton Hall too a lot growing up. They're close to home, so my family would be able to watch me play a lot. They play a gritty type of game. They're all tough-minded people. And those are all characteristics that I have. So that could be another fit as well.
And then what drew you toward Georgia?
Georgia is another, really great school that I like a lot. Coach Crean is really big on player development. You know, he's developed guys just like me and gotten them to, the league. They play in the SEC, one of the best conferences in the country. And, a lot of my family lives out there too, my sister. So I feel like it could be, an overall good situation for me.
And then VCU?
VCU, VCU, just been making me a priority since day one, just showing me, that, I'm their number one, guy in 2021. They just really want me to come there, have a chance to play, as a freshman, from the get-go and really be able to, have an impact on like the whole team. So I like them a lot too.
And then Hofstra?
Hofstra, they've been, recruiting me for the past, couple of years. They're my hometown school, just 20 minutes away from me. They're the only school, they're the only school in my hometown, that recruited me in Queens. So that meant a lot to me. They made me a priority, from day one. I just felt like, having the option to play 20 minutes away from your house, should always be there. So I felt like,
No question. And then DePaul?
DePaul, they were my first high major offer back in April. They believed in me before everybody else did. They took a chance on me. I built a good relationship with Coach Lito and Coach Hisu there. I feel like, they'll really look after me in DePaul if I was to go there. They play in the Big East, great conference, a conference that I think that I'll be able to thrive well in. So, sure.
Absolutely. And then kind of looking at these 8 overall encompassing, what are going to be the final factors that you kind of look for as to, take you to where you're going to want to leave, spend your next 4 years at?
I think, some factors that I'm really going to consider, the character, just a coaching staff that has, high character that I know are just going to look after me regardless, of basketball or not, that's going to look out for my well-being, because, you know, my family won't be on campus with me. So, you know, those are basically the people that's going to be, you know, watching over me and stuff like that. So just the coaching staff that I really trust, just off the court wise. And, you know, then a coaching staff also that I feel like is really going to, you know, develop my game and, you know, help me reach my potential and, you know, get me to my goal, which is, you know, playing in the NBA. So, you know, a coaching staff that I really trust will be able to do that for me. And, you know, definitely a staff where, you know, I felt like, you know, I just fit their whole culture there, you know, culture. You know, you talk to a lot of coaches, you watch film, you know, you see the campus, stuff like that. So, you know, you just want to go to somewhere that you feel that you fit the culture there. You know, you'll just feel comfortable after the next couple of years. So.
And do you have a time frame as to kind of when you're going to try to make this final decision?
Not yet. I'm still deciding, you know, that over the course of these next couple of days, you know, coming up with the day in which I want to, you know, finally make a decision.
Awesome. So, you know, you play with your Crown AAU team. You've been back, played an event and all that type of stuff too. How did it feel getting back on the floor?
I like it. I mean, it really felt great, you know, being back on the floor. My teammates, you know, finally playing again. You know, it's been almost 6 months without, you know, really playing organized basketball. So, you know, it felt really good, you know, out there competing again, you know, especially my AAU team for sure.
And then in your mind, how do you feel that you played?
I felt like I played good, you know. I mean, you know, as good as anyone, you know, after a couple of months of not playing, you know, organized ball. But, you know, I felt like I played good. You know, of course, there's some things that I felt like I could have done better throughout the weekend. But I feel like overall, you know, I played pretty good.
And then heading into your senior season, you've decided to transfer to Putnam Science to play. Kind of what all went into that decision for you?
So, you know, I pretty much, you know, I just wanted to go to a place where, you know, I just wanted, like, I wanted to be, you know, challenged before going off to college, you know, really be challenged and pushed, you know, because before, you know, transferring to Putnam, you know, I mean, Canterbury was a great school, you know, they were prep school, but, you know, I haven't really, you know, played top-notch competition, you know, throughout my school career. You know, I started off at a public school from freshman year to junior year. So, you know, I'm kind of new to, you know, playing, you know, top-notch competition. So I wanted this last year of high school to, you know, really push me, you know, challenge me before I get to, you know, to that next level. So I have some type of, you know, familiar, like some type of, you know, feel for like that type of level of competition. So that's why I pretty much made the move to Putnam.
Absolutely. And then kind of building on that a little bit, what are your goals for your senior season?
My goal is definitely, you know, to win the national championship, you know, for New England. Definitely for sure, you know, to definitely, you know, have a good record, you know, probably, you know, the goal is always to go undefeated, you know, not to lose any game. I felt like we have a really good team coming in this year to be able to do that. Yeah, but those are probably my two goals, you know, go undefeated and, you know, win that New England, you know, national championship for sure. So
Team goals. I love that. For those who've never seen you play, how would you describe yourself? How would you describe your game? And who have you heard that you play like?
um definitely, you know, I'm a big guard, can play the 2 or the 3, can play the 4 in some situations. Really long, I have about a 7'1" wingspan at 6'6". You know, I'm really versatile, can shoot the ball well, can drive it, can block shots, you know, can defend point guards, can defend pretty much the 1 through the 4. I'm really active on the boards, you know, offensive rebounding, really good. And I'm just somebody that, you know, just works really hard, you know. My work ethic is really good, you know. I'm always going to be working, playing hard. My motor is good. So I'm just somebody that's, you know, just always going to be doing something on the floor. If I'm not scoring, if I'm having a bad scoring day, I'm still going to be, you know, grabbing 15 rebounds, getting, you know, blocking shots. So I'm always, you know, everywhere on the floor. Sure.
If you weren't a high major basketball player, what would you be doing?
Um, Definitely, I'd probably be somewhere in the technology world. You know, I really like technology, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably be like doing something around that. But that's definitely the goal, to probably major in info tech when I get to college. So.
That's awesome. And then kind of winding down here, is there anything that you want to leave the people with? Any any fans of yours or any college coaches that may be watching or fans of colleges or anything?
Um, Nothing of really towards them, but just more of to players like me, that were under recruited, that wasn't really known or just looked over. Just keep working, and when you keep working, good things is just gonna come your way. So for sure.
That's awesome. Sean, thank you so much for joining us, taking a few minutes out of the time here. It's been awesome to watch your rise over these last few months, and I can't wait to see what these next few years bring you.
Definitely. Thanks.
Absolutely. Guys, thank y'all very much for tuning in here on another episode of the Absolute Basketball Experience with Jamie Shaw. For Sean Durugordon, I will see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And there you have it, Sean Durugordon there on the Absolute Basketball Experience. It was great to be able to listen to him talk about all of his happenings, talk about his rise and his game and his expectations moving into next year. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Please go ahead and hit that like button here on as well. Leave in the comment section below what you enjoy most about Durugordon, where you feel like, which of these 8 schools you feel like he should end up at. That would be great. But until next time, we will see you. For Sean Durugordon, I am Jamie Shaw on the Absolute Basketball Experience. Thank you guys very much.